Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Grade 11, this is a video lesson for Practical Research 1, and we are now on the fourth module. The fourth module is subdivided into two parts. The first part is writing the review of related literature and studies, and the second part would be writing the theoretical framework. So last time, we actually talked about identifying the inquiry and establishing your problem statement. We also discussed about where are you going to get your research topic, some sources and references, where you can get your research topics, and also we differentiate between scope and delimitation of the study. Also, your performance task for that module is that you write the chapter 1. Currently, only 3 students were able to submit their chapter 1. So, I highly recommend na mag-submit na kayo kaagad, no? Kasi malapit na rin ang outline defense. Okay? So, the MELC of this module is first, select relevant literature and synthesize information from relevant literature, and also write coherent review of literature. So specifically, the end of the lesson, the students are expected to first define what is a review of related literature, and then explain the purpose of RRL, discuss the process of writing the RRL, search for relevant literature, and write the RRL of your study. So let's go. What is review of related literature? A review of related literature is a well-organized summary of what has already been researched about a certain topic. So it is a compilation of studies related to a specific area of research. It also evaluates, classifies, and summarizes all the relevant previous studies conducted on a specific topic. That is why it forms a picture, providing a support and full comprehension of the developments in the field. So it is the summary of all the previous studies that has been conducted on a certain topic, and then it also is designed to justify your research by exposing the gaps of the previous studies, because it is that part of the study where you try to find the gap, yung important missing piece sa current knowledge that we have about a certain topic. Okay? So what is the purpose of the RRL? First is to discover previous information, discoveries, investigations that has been conducted on the topic. And also, the RRL shows a critical recap of theoretical development, results, and maybe discoveries that has been unfolded for this specific topic. Yun na nga, sinabi natin kanina, to identify what's missing or the gap on the current knowledge that we have about this certain topic. And also, by creating your RRL, it can provide support, evidences, or reinforcement to your data interpretation or drawing of conclusion at the later part of your research writing. Because the results taken from other studies could be used for your own data interpretation and analysis. So even the theories that was used on previous studies, you can use them as well to either contradict or maybe support your own conclusion. So how are we going to write the RRL? There are 4 basic guidelines in writing the RRL. And first is search for relevant topics. Actually, you have to read a lot of researches that is relevant to your topic. That is one of the basic rule in order for you to write your own review of related literature. And by doing so, you would be able to find themes or patterns or trends that are happening within your research study or the scope of your problem. And then afterwards, you have to outline your RRL. Ano yung mga bagay na kailangan isali mo? Ano yung mga thematic explanation maybe, or theories, or recent developments, or maybe quotes from other studies that you can use to your own study. And lastly, you will write the RRL. Well, basically, actually, writing the RRL is simply, trying to connect everything in a clear, comprehensive structure that will be easier to understand for you and, of course, your readers as well. So, let's get into details on writing the RRL. First, search for relevant topics. So, the thing that you can do is that you have to look for studies or materials from good sites. Yung mga site na talagang bibigyan ka ng mga published research studies. For example, Google Scholar, Pubmed, Jstor, Science Direct, ResearchGate, and a whole lot more. Actually, unfortunately, wala tayong access sa mga journals online. However, if you are going to college and you might want to ask the university library if they have access to these things, because it is really good to have an access in online libraries, journal publications, na kung saan andoon yung mga legit studies that have been published. That would be really good. And then next, you have to skim through the abstract and check references for other sources. Usually, the executive summary is the abstract, and you can find a lot of things in the abstract. But if you are writing the RRL as well, you might want to look on the RRL of that specific study. It will help you. It will give you the different theories that was used or that was used as a basis for the study itself. Even the methodology, guys. You might want to check the methodology kasi especially in experimental studies, it is really good to look at the methods or the procedures that was used by other researchers for a certain topic that you would like to study. If you're using Google Scholar, also check the citation count. Because if the citation count is high, then ibig sabihin okay yung research na yun, no? Kasi marami ang nag-cite sa kanya. So, ibig sabihin, maraming bagay doon na pwedeng gamitin or other researchers find important or relevant. That is why mataas yung kanyang citation count. So, this is Google Scholar and you can actually find sources here that are good. For example, merong nag-submit sa inyo about social media and let's say body image. So there are a lot of things here that you can use, and especially kung merong ganito, you can even download the PDF file so that you can still work even if you are offline. So this is really good. Also, yung sinabi natin kanina, ito yung citation count. So as you can see, one of the studies here, meron siyang 404 citation count, and the others are like 85, 142, 121. So ibig sabihin, this is a bit better than the others. But then sometimes due to the context, yung relevance ng isang research study ay depende talaga sa kung ano yung objectives mo. That is why you still have to really open that up and read kung ano ba ito siya, no? So as you can see, it has highlights. Good for you, it has highlights because some thesis doesn't have that, no? I think this is like the abstract na. I think you have to download the PDF file so that you can look at the entire paper itself. So that is good. But then I think you have to have access for that one. Well, anyway, moving forward, a lot of things here that you need to consider. And also one good thing about Google Scholar is this, no? Itong cite na button. You can just copy paste things here. Ayan, no? Of course, we are going to use APA 7th edition sa ating citation. So the thing is, it's easy for you to cite things, unlike sa amin dati, no, na kailangan pa namin tong isa-isahin. Alhamdulillah, good for you, you have this kind of thing. So if you took your resource from Google Scholar, make use of this feature. Okay, you can also save it if you want to. And also there are related articles just in case you are going to use this one. And then we also have Pubmed. So let's say social media pa rin, no? And body image, let's say. Yep, so as you can see, there are a lot of things here. This is really good. I like this. Body dissatisfaction and disordered eating attitudes and exploratory analysis. This is good. For me, this is good. Although iba ang kanyang user interface, you have to try and analyze the user interface of each website. Like for example, this one, you can actually filter your search, no? Pwede 10 years from now ang publication date, or maybe if you want current ones, then 1 year ago lang or 5 years ago. A lot of filters can be done while you are doing research para mapadali rin minsan ang trabaho mo, no? So you try and make use of the user interface given to you. So this is good as well. So if you are looking at this first few studies that are being shown right now, pansinin niyo, it's, I think mostly some of them are like about female, no? Mga babae, and also young adults, like 18 to 30 years old. So you can use this, for example, if you are going for a thematic approach in writing your RRL, you can use this theme, and maybe the gap that you are trying to fill is that how about the perception of male teenagers. Kasi baka hindi natin alam, naapektuhan din pala sila, you know? Sometimes even they are more affected. You know, depende sa objectives ng yung study, you can have that approach, that certain approach, no? You can also use Jstor. So for example, let's have social media again. Social media and body image. So as you can see, it also has different type of user interface, pero meron din siyang filter dito sa gilid. So that is really good. Ooh, look at that. Karamihan, no? So kasi karamihan, it's all about, you know, female. So that could be a that could be a gap, you know, perceived perception of the male, or maybe senior high school students, you know. So you can also download it if it's available, and you can also cite it. So you can see MLA, APA, no, parang ano lang din, Google Scholar. Just copy that one, oh my gosh, and paste it onto your references. Kaya walang walang excuses na wala kayong references, ha, or wala kayong bibliography. That is like, I don't know, that's mind-blowing. For me anyway. Okay, so you can also use this one. Okay, learning using social media. How about social media and body image? Still, we are using this topic, no, as an example. Ooh, I like this one. This seems to be very direct. No, napaka-direct niya. I like it. Oh, this one is good as well. Para siyang case study. Ooh, a lot of really good, guys. Kaya talaga huwag kayong mag-submit sa akin ng one page lang na review of related literature, because it's, I don't know, I cannot say if it's possible or not. I don't think it's possible. No? So galingan natin. Mag-start na tayo, dapat magbasa-basa ng mga bagay-bagay. You know, a lot of things could be used here, no, about impact, especially if you are tackling social media, because like 2 of you have submitted proposals about social media. So, you know, ang daming related literature when it comes to social media. And also like that, you have to be very specific. Is it about Instagram? Is it about Facebook? And since bago lang ang TikTok, that could be a gap as well, no? Like, if you're going to specify one social media platform that you would like to study, since a lot of studies has already been, you know, has used Facebook, Instagram, you know, yung mga famous na social media platforms, and maybe you can use TikTok. Or alam niyo yung guys, yung effect ng shorts or ng, kasi sa YouTube, 'di ba, meron siyang shorts, yung mga maiikling clip. It is somewhat the same as TikTok. And just like how you become addicted to TikTok, you know, like it's looping. You know, maliliit na clips, and then hindi mo na malayan, 3 hours ka nang nakatingin sa TikTok. You know? Just like that in YouTube, you're looking at shorts, you know, video clips that are, I think, 30 seconds to 60 seconds lang ang kahaba. But then, you can't, you know, hindi mo na malayan, ilang oras ka nang nanonood ng shorts sa YouTube. So what is this effect? You can also try to look into that. Now that is really a what do you call this one? A novelty type of research study kasi medyo bago siya, no? So that could be good as well. Sa mga hindi pa nakapropose. Okay, you can try to look at it here as well. Let's see daw kung meron yun. Let's say YouTube Shorts. And let's say, how about not body image but procrastination? Let's just see if it has related literature. No, not that one. Baka mali lang yung pagkaano ko, no? Let's not try YouTube Shorts kasi parang nalilito siya sa short film, YouTube short film and whatnot. Let's have TikTok daw be. To TikTok or that is the question. Okay, anyway. Oh, this is good, but it's not quite relevant to the one that I'm talking about, procrastination. So this is new. Sa mga hindi pa nakapropose, this is somewhat new. It's kind of a novelty. Correlation between TikTok, usage and procrastination. Let's try here daw be kung meron yan. This is good. Okay, let's see this one. Okay. Anong nito? Okay, so how young adults make meaning. Okay. So I don't think it has something about procrastination though. Okay. Oh, it does. Okay. This is really good. Oh, pero kaisa niya lang nabanggit. I'm so sorry. So, sometimes this is the issue, no? Talagang kailangan yung magbasa at maghanap ng maraming studies. Like, for example, this one, kaisa niya lang nabanggit yung procrastination. But that's good because you can see different perceptions of the students about TikTok. You see boredom, tired of doing one thing. That's really good. So, going back here. Okay. This has something to do with it as well. But as you can see, guys, this is really new. Guys, kung gusto nyo talaga, na medyo maganda-ganda or something new, fresh concept, fresh idea, ang gusto ninyong propose. This is somewhat a novelty idea currently. Okay, well, anyway. So those are some ways on how you can find your relevant topics or studies to your own research study. So going back here, next, step 2, you have to find themes, patterns, or trends. So look for trends and patterns. Like, for example, if there are some positive results coming from different studies on the same topic that you are trying to study, then you can put that onto your review of related literature as well. Then later on, pag mag-data interpretation ka na, you can actually try and compare. Diba? Also, some themes earlier, we have already given an example for that. And then also theories, debates, or contradictions. Because maybe later on in your own drawing of conclusion, you may be contradicting something na na-establish na or that was quoted by other researchers in the previous studies. And also check methodologies used. Kahit experimental pa yan or qualitative research, there are some methodologies that might be helpful to you and you can follow the same process into your study so that it will be better, inshallah. Next, you have to outline your RRL. So these are the different approach into writing your RRL. First is the chronological or historical approach or type of RRL. This type of RRL focuses on probing research in a specified field throughout a chronological order. So, ibig sabihin, usually it starts from the oldest period of time, going to the most recent studies. So, yun na nga, for example, if we are talking about the evolution of social media platforms and the effects that it has given to different range of people. It might be teenager, young adults, adult, parents, and whatnot. So you might want to put a RRL with a historical background of the social media. Next is thematic approach. It is to organize your RRL around a topic or issue. And you look for the themes on the other studies that may be incorporated to your own study. So for example, if a certain study has shown that there is a positive outcome in the utilization of TikTok maybe as a supplemental platform in distance learning, then you can lean on that notion if your research objectives allow it. Just make sure that it is relevant to your own research topic. On the contrary naman, you can also contradict themes from other studies. Again, depende sa iyong research problem kung anong klaseng approach ang gagawin mo. The third approach is methodological. This type of RRL summarizes and evaluates the strengths and gaps in methodological aspects of various studies and illustrates the effects of different methodologies to different outcomes. For example, if you are going to look into the research design, yung sampling technique perhaps, or the samples themselves, and also the procedure, no, yung process ng ginamit sa isang research study, you might want to look at how these different procedures affected the topic itself. For example, if you are looking at psychological outcomes, there are different tests for that. Now, maybe there are different researchers that says this type of process will be able to show the personality of a senior high school student even more than this type of process. So you may also use that as, you know, you can contradict that one or maybe you can support that one. Depende again kung ano yung iyong research objective. And then the last one is theoretical. Theoretical RRL introduces several theories or concepts that are focused on a specific topic. So you are going to delve deeper onto different theories. Okay, it is particular on the theories and concepts being highlighted on other research papers and compare them to the current study basing on hypothesis perhaps, the framework of the study, consistency, and even justification of the researcher. And now write your RRL. Just like writing your first essay, this structure is always helpful in trying to structure your own RRL. So you have introduction, main body, and conclusion. So first, introduction. In this part, you may reiterate your research problem or put emphasis on your research questions or objectives. Then, you may also put focus onto your scope and then explain the relevance and timeliness of your research study. You may also highlight the gap in the current knowledge that you would like to fill in. And this part is critical, no? As you will also need to try and fit the studies that you will include in your RRL in order to justify this gap. So be careful of the gap, yung missing piece of information towards the current knowledge of that specific topic that you are trying to study. Because whatever it is that you are going to specify in your introduction, you have to justify that in the main body. Okay? So in the main body, you can subdivide the main body into different sections. Again, depending on the approach that you have taken. It might be chronological ba yan, historical, theoretical, thematic ba yan, or methodological. Ikaw ang bahala. So for example, if you want to talk about how different online social media platforms have affected the body image, no, of teenagers, then you might use a chronological approach in writing the RRL and write the historical summary of different social media platforms in different time periods and their effect or their impact in the body image of teenagers. So, like for example, dati may mga studies na naginawa about Friendster or maybe MySpace or Multiply kung naabutan nyo pa yung mga social platforms na yon, no? Well, anyway, lastly, your conclusion. Just like the conclusion part in the background of the study, the conclusion part in RRL is not trying to finish off the entire study. Hindi ito yung huling salita mo, okay? So, it is like a concluding section that smoothly transitions the reader from the current chapter onto the next. Also, it gives a finalized justification on how these different studies, theories, or discoveries from previous works give groundwork on your own research objectives or the gap that you are trying to fill in. So that's it for this module, guys. So we have defined review of related literature. We have explained the purpose of the RRL, discussed the writing process of RRL, and even described searching for relevant literature. And now you have to write your RRL. So assessment, write your chapter 2, review of related literature. Deadline would be on March 15, 2022. Still the same format, short bond paper, Arial, 12 points, double space. So, just reminding you of the research format, yung mga hindi pa nakapasa ng proposal, Chapter 1, background of the study, problem statement, significance of the study, scope and delimitation of the study, and then definition of terms. And then for Chapter 2, you have review of related literature. So, we subdivided that into 2 sections. First is the RRL itself, and then next would be the theoretical framework. Inshallah, we can meet next week and discuss the writing of the theoretical framework. So thank you so much for watching this video lesson, and I really hope that you will watch this and submit your proposals as soon as possible, because after the summative tests, you will need to have your outline defense already. Okay? So, good luck. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.